Hello, everyone's. I am here for my review of Married to Medicine, Season 12, Episode 10. If you are new to my channel, welcome. I am Lady T. I like to do reviews on scripted shows, reality shows, and also do reactions. If you're returning, one of my peoples, well, welcome back. The ladies are going to have a day out on the water, and Contessa has rented this yacht for the ladies to have all to themselves. And I'm like, see, married to medicine know how to do vacations. Even if it's still in the United States, it's giving luxury as opposed to what they be having going on in Potomac. Except for this last season, and that's mainly because they had Karen's salary where they was able to, splurge on some things. So I'm almost guarantee you that in season 11 of Potomac, that they still gonna be going to some not so nice places and doing some regular activities. But married to medicine, nice shot. Now y'all, if you've been here for a while, y'all know meat and water are not the best of friends. Cause I'm scared of the water. I turned 41 years old today. Yes, today is my birthday. And I do not know how to swim. It started when I was little and I almost drowned in the pool, so therefore I have not liked water like that for real, for real. I like to stay in the water where I could stand up and like almost half of my body is above water. And the boat looked nice. It looks nice in theory, but I'm always scared that even though I'm out in the water and I'm on a boat and I am not, close to the edge, that something is going to happen and I'm going to fall out. Just like I have this irrational fear about going on a cruise. In my mind, I just know since the boat goes really, really fast in the water, that somehow, simultaneously, that the boat is going to turn. Somehow my bed is going to lift up and I'm going to go flying out the window. I know that the likelihood of that happening is small, but still that gives me the fear. So I'm just watching like, oh, this boat, this little yacht y'all going on, that looks nice. But I don't think I could do it. And I know y'all not here to, listen to my irrational fears, but they seem to be having a good time on this yacht. I would just be fearful of getting on one myself. The ladies are gonna have a day out on the water, and Contessa has rented this yacht for the ladies to have all to themselves. And I'm like, see, married to medicine know how to do vacations. Even if it's still in the United States, it's giving luxury as opposed to what they be having going on in Potomac. Except for this last season, and that's mainly because they had Karen's salary where they was able to, splurge on some things. So I'm almost guarantee you that in season 11 of Potomac, that they still gonna be going to some not so nice places and doing some regular activities. But married to medicine, nice shot. Now y'all, if you've been here for a while, y'all know meat and water are not the best of friends. Cause I'm scared of the water. I turned 41 years old today. Yes, today is my birthday. And I do not know how to swim. It started when I was little and I almost drowned in the pool, so therefore I have not liked water like that for real, for real. I like to stay in the water where I could stand up and like almost half of my body is above water. And the boat looked nice. It looks nice in theory, but I'm always scared that even though I'm out in the water and I'm on a boat and I am not, close to the edge, that something is going to happen and I'm going to fall out. Just like I have this irrational fear about going on a cruise. In my mind, I just know since the boat goes really, really fast in the water, that somehow, simultaneously, that the boat is going to turn. Somehow my bed is going to lift up and I'm going to go flying out the window. I know that the likelihood of that happening is small, but still that gives me the fear. So I'm just watching like, oh, this boat, this little yacht y'all going on, that looks nice. But I don't think I could do it. And I know y'all not here to, listen to my irrational fears, but they seem to be having a good time on this yacht. I would just be fearful of getting on one myself. The men meet up to go play darts. And this is when we find out that Dr. Scott has had glaucoma for the past 7 years and he has recently had surgery. And this was, I'm thinking, now I've heard of glaucoma before and then it messes with your vision. So I'm trying to figure out how was he safely, treating patients if his eyesight wasn't the best. Now, granted, I don't believe that Dr. Scott is a surgeon to where he would be like operating on people, but still, you need your eyesight if you're going to be, treating patients, writing prescriptions, making sure everything's all right. Now, I don't know how severity the glaucoma is, and if it's like a scale of like, it's just a little cloudy to where, and from a scale of a little cloudy to you can't see at all. But it just seemed like to me myself, who has no medical knowledge, that just seems like that he should have got that taken care of a long time ago and not been treating patients in the meantime. I'm glad he has finally, done the preparations and the surgery that he has needed to do so he can get his eyesight together. But I'm like, you are a doctor, and like Eugene said, the two things you need as a doctor is your eyesight and your hands. If you don't have those two things, what are we doing here, sir? The men talk about what it's like with their wives out of town. Now, the only person seem to be struggling is Mimi's husband, Steve, because he is taking care of two children. One of them has special needs. And him being in particular, their son, Stevie, having autism, he's needing a lot more care. There's usually a two-person job being thrown on one person. And it seemed to me, I could be wrong, but Stevie, he needs to have a routine of things, of how things go each and every day, so he can function a lot better. And I'm trying to say this the most respectful way and the correct way, because I know not all children with special needs are the same. Some function differently. I've said before, I know two different women who have children with special needs, and it's all about focusing on their needs. One lady who has a child with autism, they both have autism, and granted, I know there's different levels of autism, and one, she got him into speech and into going to classes and things like that, and he is thriving. Another, not so much. She was still treating him like a baby, and not. He knows how to do things like he knows how to get on the iPad and get on the shows he likes. Knows how to use the phone, but not getting him into like some speech therapy, into some classes. He was like 4 or 5 years old, still wearing a diaper. Again, I know there is differences, but I think there's steps you need to take to help them out. I know there's some children who have autism who can speak, and I know there's some who are nonverbal. I understand that, but what I'm trying to get to the thing is, Steve, the husband, is stressed because all the work is on him, taking care of the kids, and they also have a business. So he said once she gets back, he's going on a little vacation himself, and the men all joke that he's going to the Louis Vuitton store, because that is seeming like the only brand that he ever wears is a Louis Vuitton. Now, I've said again that a lot of, now I'm not going to say a lot, some of the name brand, higher luxury name brands that I've seen, some of the stuff is not, it don't look cute to me. So I'm not going to sit here and judge him on the choices of the items that he buys, because everybody's taste is different. Everybody else, things is going smoothly because everybody else has kids that are like teenagers who can take care of themselves. Like Toya and Eugene's sons, they are self-sufficient. They know how to cook 5-course gourmet meals. They know how to clean up after themselves. Only thing they will probably need is if they want to go somewhere, hey daddy, can you take me there? Or can I get, an Uber or a Lyft? Dr. Heavenly, her kids, they are all either in college or have graduated from college. Scott and Contessa, their kids are teenagers, so they can cook and clean for themselves. And if they want to go somewhere, again, rideshare services like not Heavenly, but Jackie and Curtis don't have kids. Simone, her kids are Simone's kids. They grown, so they don't have to worry about that. Angel, she doesn't have a boyfriend, so he wasn't really there. Quad, she doesn't have any kids, but what's his name? King was saying how he doesn't go all the way into detail about their IVF treatment, because he feels that Quad should be the one who brings that up, and I'm going to say this in the most sensitive way possible. I don't think it was meant for Quad and King to have a baby, them two together. I think that's why it's not working for them two, because they're not compatible about having babies. And this is something I didn't know when I was little. I just thought everybody was compatible. But sometimes the two individuals, it's almost impossible for these two to have kids together. They both are, healthy otherwise, but the two of them getting together to have a baby, it's not working. And the man can go off to somebody else and get her pregnant immediately, or the woman can go off and get pregnant by somebody else immediately. But them two together, it's just not working. The show wouldn't be the show if they didn't ask questions. So they're questioning Heavenly about her political endeavors and who does she look to as a political person? And she says Quad Lunsford. Now, Quad ain't been a Lunsford since 2019, so it's like, girl, what are we really doing? Now, I'm not saying that just because you don't have any political background that you can't still do good work, because you could be somebody looking at, the neighborhoods around you and a neighborhood that affect people who look like you and want to make a difference in those areas and want to run for some kind of political office. And like I liked how she brought up, how people who are on Medicaid, they are the sickest. And she wants to do something about that, put some clinics in the areas that's going to help people. Now, I don't know if that is going to be possible because, the current administration is already trying to get rid of a lot of things that are actually helping the lower income people. And I don't like to get political on here, but I'm going to have to get on here just a little bit. Like, the way housing and groceries have gone up over the year, you could have a full-time job and still be struggling and still need help. But the thing is, certain avenues is they look to you as making too much money, even though you're living paycheck to paycheck. Rent, like I said, rent high, groceries high. So you could have two people living in a house and both have full-time jobs and are still struggling. And the people who with money want you to, pull up your bootstraps and make it. It's like, I'm trying to. You the CEO of this company and you barely do anything. And the people who are working for you are working like a dog just to try to make ends meet and are not doing this. And then I get sick. I can't afford to take off, so therefore I'm working even more and getting even sicker. It's sad that we're living to where you have to have sick days. Now, I'm going to go on a little tangent. I was watching something on YouTube, it was some years ago, and it was talking about healthcare in different countries as opposed to healthcare here. This lady said she moved to a different country, and I can't remember which it was, and I apologize for that, and her boyfriend was telling her to go and get her insurance together, and she was like, she was going to do that, and she found out, I think it was like $100 a year, and that covers medical insurance, car insurance, home insurance, for $100 a year. This other lady said she was sick, she was living in a different country, and she had got sick, and she was basically telling her boss that, I'm already, I'll stay here. He's like, no, you gotta go to work. She's like, I can't afford to take off. And he was like, what do you mean? Like, here, if you're sick, you stay home and you still get paid. She went to the doctor and she's, trying to give him her card for her, like, to pay for her stay. And it was like, what is this for? And it's like, medical here is free. Like, all the tests you need to done, $7. You go to get something done here in the United States, even with insurance, $7, that's going to give you like a fourth of an aspirin. Because they will charge you anything. I'm telling you, some years ago, the doctor I had, we're not going to say his name, but like he started charging for like unnecessary, like if you needed to get a shot for something, just bring him the needle on the tray. He was charging the insurance company. Like, just the trade that they have to bring it in on anyway, charge the insurance company. So I understand her bringing up wanting to have better health care for people who can't really afford it, and who don't have insurance with their job or can't afford to pay for insurance themselves, having some clinics to take care of them. But the way this administration is going, they don't want to give you the money for that. They're trying to take all of the money that's going to help the less the I don't want to say less fortunate, but like the lower income people, but help out the people who already have money. Yeah, that's where we're living at now. So, Toya lets the ladies know that the Met Gala will be pushed back by 2 weeks because the location they plan to use is not large enough. And the Met Gala has grown over the years. Now, usually Jackie is at the helm of the project, and Toya, she'll donate some wine or something like that, so she doesn't really contribute money. So they was like, oh, so you think you can do this by yourself and you can get things done? Alright then. And I think it's kind of sort of like, alright, I'm going to show you how hard this is to run this fundraiser and how expensive it can be. So they're going to be like, see, I told you, you don't know what you're doing. But Toya knows how to throw a party. I don't know if she's knows how to fundraise like that for real, for real. Now, granted, she said she's already raised like $9,000 in the last 2 weeks, which I think that is good, you know. But again, like if you are around like a lot of like wealthy professional people, I would think that she would have done more. And I'm not even trying to be shady towards her because I've never done any fundraising, so I can't really judge. What I can say is she's good at party planning. I don't know how good she is at throwing a fundraiser by herself. Like I said, this has always been a group thing, but it's usually like two people, and I believe that was Jackie and Simone that was at the helm. Now, if I remember correctly, last season, what's her name? Phaedra, she was, or maybe that was the season before. The seasons is blending together for me. That Phaedra thought she was going to bring in more than what she could, and she did not reach that goal. So she had to come out of her pocket for them to reach that goal. So either way, I just hopefully it's successful in whatever fundraiser they're doing, and it helps whatever organization they're raising money for. But they all looking at her like, girl, you think you're really doing something? It's gonna be a gotcha type of situation when you really can't fulfill it. But I'm kind of rooting for Toya to be like, see, I did this all by myself, and I was able to do it. Quad breaks down and lets the ladies know that the IVF treatment isn't going the way that she hoped it would. The last round that they didn't fertilize into an embryo. And this is heartbreaking for her because she really wants to have a child. Now, I don't know if she wants to be a mother or does she want to have a child, because I believe that if it's just being a mother, then if the IVF is draining her mentally, emotionally, and physically, then try the adoption. Is it that you want to have your own kid? I don't know. But she is kicking herself because Jackie told her years ago to freeze her eggs, and she didn't listen. Now, I don't know if it's because she was with Greg at the time and she didn't want to have kids with him, but even though I am not a doctor, listening to doctors, once you get a certain age, it's even harder to get pregnant. And putting your body through a pregnancy, the older you get, is dangerous for you and the baby. Now, I'm not saying it is impossible, but I was like, it's putting you in danger. Then on top of that, you're older, trying to take care of a young child. That is another thing. It is hard on younger people, so it's a little bit more taxing the older you get. So she's kicking herself because she should have listened to Dr. Jackie. Now, I said this earlier, and again, I'm going to say I am not trying to be insensitive to her, but I just think that she and King together, that's the reason that they are not matching. And that's why they are not matching to be able to have a kid together. And I do I feel bad for Quiet because it seemed like something that she really wanted, and it's like if I had a listen before, maybe things would be different. But the way King has been acting towards her during this process doesn't seem like he was as supportive as he should have been. And I know, it's taxing on him too, and I'm not going to take that away from him, having to uproot, going to Ghana, doing these treatments, and like the money, the time, the emotion is going into it. So I'm not going to take that away from him because I'm pretty sure it was hard on him too. But the way he was treating Quiet during this process and his attitude towards Quiet that we've been seeing this season is like, I don't like the way you're talking towards her, and I don't like the way you're acting towards her. And I say this with all sincerity possible. It is probably her body telling her that this isn't the right person that you should be having a child with. Y'all, I don't like the way King was treating Quad. She fresh back from her trip, and they finna start eating. He complained that she done gave him a baby fork. Sir, you are right next to the silverware drawer. I don't care if it was a baby fork or a big fork. It was a fork, and she handed it to you like, this baby fork. Like, so that was already making me upset, and I was already upset how he had been treating her this season, and it just like further went on. And she's trying to tell what went on while she was on this girls trip. He was basically like, I don't need all that extra stuff. Like, get to the point. Like, sir, listen to the lady's story. I don't care if she got to go around the mulberry bush to get to where she's at. Because Quiet is like me. I will have a sit down with my husband and I will go from A to Z. And all I need is Y and Z to get the story. But I got to tell about this to get to here, to get to here, to get to here. And you know what my husband does? He sits there and listens. Even if he don't know the people I'm talking about, he sits there and listens. Now, granted, my husband and King are two different people. I understand that. But the point is, just listen to the story. And that's all she wanted. And she's saying how she got emotional. An argument was about to break out, and she started crying. And it was like, he said he was joking, but it was mainly like, dang, you crying again? It's like, yes, because she is sad. She is emotional about the egg retrieval not being in success, and she's upset about it. And you were basically like, man, why are you still crying about that? That's what he was giving off. And maybe it's just me, and maybe I was reading too much into it, but it was giving off that Quad was catching how he was like his energy towards her, but she didn't want to say it, but her body language was saying it. And it was like, okay. So they decided that they were going to just maybe give it like 2 or 3 months before they try again, which I think doing it back to back to back and it failing back to back to back, it's crushing her each and every time. So they just need to relax, release from this at this current time. But I think King has already checked out on on having this baby and the relationship. And the interaction with them is just messing me up. Because she was like, can I have a piece of your fish? And he was like, you always get mad with me when I eat your food. And her thing is, because you just dig in my plate, I'm asking you. But he was like, I'll see about it. And again, the energy that I seen in her, it was like, oh, you doing that right now? Okay. I just, the seeing them, and I know a lot of people said that the reason why we gave King so much praise last season is because we were comparing him to Greg, but it was like, He's not Greg, but even though he's not treating her like Greg treated her, he is still not treating her the best. He's playing off like he's joking with her when he's actually being serious in the meanness that he says. Toya admits getting this Met Gala together is a lot harder than what she thought it was going to be, and she does apologize. Now the issue is the positions that the ladies hold. They don't like that she's a CFO. Quad don't like that she's secretary. And that's what happens when you have a lot of strong personalities. They feel that they should have certain roles. But there's only so many positions out there, and everybody can't be the CEO. Everybody can't be the CFO. Everybody can't be the secretary. Like, everybody can't do that. So now everybody's upset about their positions. Heavenly, she's hot and she's cold, she's yes and she's no. It's like, she want to talk for a minute, she want to have this little scarf thing so she can speak, but like, who said the scarf was for us to talk? Like, this is something you and Quiet did back there. So it was just a whole lot of back and forth. Then it turned to, well, Jackie said that you was unprofessional, now I'm paraphrasing, and you're difficult to work with. And I believe that Jackie may have said some shady things because that's what Jackie does. This is what Jackie has always done. She likes to be messy, but she'll let Heavenly say the messy things. It's Jackie's thoughts, but Heavenly gonna say it. That's why you should long time ago, don't tell Heavenly anything, because when it's Mad Day, she's gonna bring it up. So I don't know why Jackie would do this, and I'm with Contessa. Jackie probably did say some messed up thing about Quad, and I absolutely believe that she did. But I'm like, y'all are always fussing and always fighting, always arguing. It's always something, but yet y'all want to come together and get this foundation together as a group. When y'all can't sometimes sit down 5 minutes because somebody is arguing. It's like musical chairs on who's mad at who at the time. That was the gist. If I left anything out, by all means, leave a comment below. If you are new to my channel, welcome. Feel free to subscribe. It is free all day, every day, free 99. Make sure your notifications are on, so when my beautiful face puts up a video, you can click on it, you can like it, you can share it with your people, and you can come over and be one of my peoples by clicking that icon above. Now, this is Lady T signing off. Have a good one.